I just watched two videos on YouTube, one claiming that Jake Gittes, the lead character of Chinatown, was a likable character. Then I watched a second video where someone said the reason Jake Gittes works in Chinatown is because he's incompetent and unlikable. In fact, he may be even contributing to the film's tragic ending. This is how stories work with Jay Sherer, and now I'm wondering, is Jake Gittes likable? And what makes him such a great character? First, let me say that I think both commenters are actually wrong. But they're also kind of right. So let me explain what I mean by all of that, and let's break it down. The first important thing to note about Chinatown is that it is a tragedy. Chinatown is a tragedy. In fact, the only real hero in the film is Hollis Mulwray, who's murdered in Act 1. But while most of the film unfolds without a hero, there is most definitely a villain, Noah Cross, or Julian Cross as he's named in the script. But if the other characters aren't heroes, why are they all so compelling? In my opinion, it's because all the characters have clear and compelling goals. Now, Jake has some additional stuff going on that I'm going to talk about in a minute, but let's just analyze the other characters and their particular goals, which is why they're so interesting. First, Evelyn Mulwray wants to escape from her father, Noah Cross, and all the influence that he has both over her and Los Angeles as a city. Lou Escobar, who's the detective for the LAPD, wants to make a name for himself now that he's out of Chinatown. And Noah Cross, the villain, wants to control everything around him. He wants to systemically control the way Los Angeles grows by restricting its water. And then he also wants to relationally control his two daughters, Evelyn and Catherine. But what about Jake Gittes? How can some conclude he's likable while others suggest that he's just the opposite? My take is that Jake Gittes isn't a hero or a villain. In this film, in Chinatown, Jake Gittes is us. The only time we ever get information about what's going on is when Jake gets that same information. And as the story unfolds and things get more and more complex, we see the world in the exact same way Jake Gittes does. When Jake's confused, we're confused. When Jake's frustrated, we're frustrated. When Jake's sympathetic, we're also sympathetic. In other words, it's not enough to say Jake is likable or unlikable. He has a clear and compelling goal to understand what's going on. And as the audience, we share that same objective. We want to understand what's happening in this wild story. He's a proxy for us. So how come people would come to different conclusions about Jake? Well, personally, I think it's because as we follow Gittes, we like and dislike his behavior, just like we like and dislike our own behaviors. Not every day is a good day for us. Sometimes we're not as good of people as we would like to be, and other times we're kind of killing it and we're doing a great job. It's not okay for Gittes to slap Evelyn around. It's not okay for him to steal records from the real estate office. It's not okay for him to lie to the police either. Yet, at the same time, we love it when Gittes stands up for justice, when he tries to help Evelyn, when he realizes that Hollis Mulwray was innocent and wants to find the truth. Jake Gittes is likable and unlikable because he is us. He feels real. And note how that adds to the core premise of the film. Life itself is often a tragedy, and when we get all the answers, we don't often get justice, which is why at the end of the film, when the world around Jake Gittes crumbles and justice is nowhere to be found, Jake's friend Walsh says, "Forget it, Jake, it's Chinatown." Jake is trying to overcome the problem, but because he's a human being, he's a part of the problem himself. And as a writer, I love that about the character of Jake Gittes and about Chinatown as a whole. What about you? Do you find Gittes likable or unlikable? Let me know in the comments down below. And don't forget to hit that like button for me on this channel. As I learn more about screenwriting and storytelling, I'll communicate those learnings back to you. Please consider supporting this channel on Patreon for additional resources and insights. Thanks for watching. Until next time, let's go write something awesome.